Good evening and welcome everyone joining us for this match tonight. It's going to be Poland versus Sweden. I think it's going to be a very exciting and tight match. My prediction is a 4-3, but I don't know for who. I'm Oscar, your host, and with me tonight is going to be Omer the Guler. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Oscar. It's gonna be a fun match to see, as you said. Like 4-3, it's quite close, so that's my prediction as well. I don't know who will win, but Poland's performing quite well, but it's up and down. I think on that side, Sweden's been a bit more unlucky, so we'll see.
Yep, so far in the overall standings, and I forgot to switch to the races for you to see this 20 seconds to go for the start. This is going to be Poland's last match in the round robin, so they've already played 5 times. They've won 2 times and they lost 3 times, and they're overall ranked fourth in the round robin stage. And for Sweden, this is only their fourth matches, so they're currently last, but they're the team with the least amount of matches so far. So obviously, both teams hoping for a win. This is going to be the last opportunity for Poland to score high and get up in the rankings to have a better luck in the knockout stages. And Isaac 0103, hi, good luck to both teams. Indeed, they're going to need it. It's going to be a very tight duel, this one. And a foiled 11, 6-1 for Sweden is his prediction. Isaac is going to predict a 5-2 in favor of Sweden. So it looks like the chat is is thinking that Sweden is actually going to be the winner tonight. Um, Looking at the roster, Omer, it's going to be a pretty tight duo, this one. Attila Kila Shadlofin versus Sweet Sailor and SGR88. I think they're pretty much on par in terms of like skills and level in eSailing.
Yeah,
Um,
it is quite balanced, I would say. And well, for the moment, we had a very solid start for Team Poland. But as you all know, we'll just see how it's going to turn out on the downwind.
yep, and with the star, the downwind is going to change a lot with a almost 60-meter wind shadow. Um, the downwind is going to dictate what happens after. You want to reach your upwind first, so you have better fleet control or control over the opposing fleets on the upwind. And well, as it stands currently, it's going to be 1 and 2 for Poland and 3 and 4 for Sweden. Um, but the fleets remaining very close, so Sweden still completely able to pull off a winning move or action in the downwind or in the reaching leg, as we see the two Polish boats rounding the mark first, with Swede Sailor on their tails.
Yeah, he's just not going to let them go easily because I know Sweet Sailor, he's a big fan of the game. He's been playing this game for a long time. And yeah, he's just not gonna let it go. And he'll be on their
Yeah,
tails till the finish line.
they're gonna fight till the end, and it's gonna be Shidlofin weaving a bit to push Sweet Sailor and try to slow him down as much as he can to give extra room to Attila and Kila as they are rounding the second reaching mark over here. Poland still in the lead. Sweet Sailor is going to chase on Shiloh Finn, and SGR88 is going to jibe onto Attila and Kila. Can she put her in the wind shadow? Let's see, and I have this top view. Looks like Attila and Kila is indeed in SGR's 88 wind shadow. So we're going to have two duels. Attila and Kila versus SGR 88 and Shiloh Finn versus Sweet Sailor. This is going to be an interesting one.
Yeah. And let's see, Antila's going on the till the ley line, but she'll stay under the wind shadow of the other duels going on the other side if she continues. But they keep going as well. I think they're just gonna keep pushing each other.
Yeah, they're going to wait for someone to take a penalty. They're going to try to lure the opponents in a position where they won't have the advantage, where they will lose right away. And we see Sweet Sailor getting very close to Shidlov Finn. Still a bit of distance between SGR88 and Attila and Kila.
Yeah. So they're basically saying us it's not gonna be an easy battle. So
And yeah, so far it's more like a tailing game, as they are going very far left of the course.
I
Shidlov
think this
Finn
is
going
the
almost for full stop.
this is the first time they are taking it this far on the down with the star. But let's see if it's going to work for Team Sweden.
Yeah, and
As you
Sweet
can
Sailor.
see, now they're too far, so their angle is changed. They're almost in the broad reach, we can say, and not in the downwind. So it's not easy for Sidelo Finn to catch up on Sweet Sailor at the moment.
Yep, he
But
decided to jab and go towards the mark, thinking that he had a good opportunity here to maybe escape. Obviously, Shiloh Finn can still try to sail above Sweet Sailor, put him in his wind shadow again, try to slow him down, but he's not doing that. He's going to stay on his port side and is going to
yeah,
try to push him away from the mark. Meanwhile, you can see the two females at the top of your screen, SGR88 and Tilankila, doing more or less the same thing in the same position. The Tilankila on port of SGR88.
yeah. So
So we have
both
a
Aquila and Sidelo did a very good job. They have the control at the moment. Yeah, already we
yeah,
got a penalty from Antila on
and
CGR 80, and
both
another one.
yeah both Swedes
It's like
boats
a
taking the penalty from
recital
the
from Team
Polish.
Poland.
Nice maneuver from the Polish boats over here. And Kemki Beats, nice to see you in the chat. Bonjour. And we're seeing SGR88 waiting for Shadowfin.
Yeah, and
Obviously
Antila
in
is
a
waiting as well.
2v2. And there's going to be friendly fire between the two Swede boats. Not to worry though, because SGR88 is going to put a penalty on Shadowfin as well. In a 2v2, you do not want to finish last. Basically, if you have the last position, you're going to lose the race. So a 2v3, even though it only equals 5 points, just like 1 plus 4, the fact that your team does not finish first actually gives you the win, and this is how team race scoring works.
It's amazing. Like we're witnessing how our run marking can change it all. Team Poland were in a great spot. They were just controlling and penalizing the other boats, but now they are in disadvantage and now maybe taking back the lead as we speak.
And Sweet Sailor taking the penalty, and Sail Marek predicting a 5-2 as well for Sweden. And Kim Kivik, est-ce que tout va bien pour toi? Everything is doing well for me. Thank you for asking. But we're gonna keep we're gonna speak in English for the live. So I hope you understand my replies.
Yeah, at this point, it's just easy controlling for Team Poland. They will be just controlling their pairs and try to tack on them and just let them sail on their wind shadows.
Yeah. Though watch out, because Tilan Kila isn't, I don't think, is completely safe from Sweet Sailor. If the two Swedish boats can push one of the Polish at the back, it's gonna reverse the tide and give them the win. But with this maneuver here, Shiloh Finn going above Sweet Sailor is gonna slow him down a bit and is going to give a huge advantage as they get closer to the finish line for the two Polish. Sweden scared of Shiloh, Sweden relieved. The Baltic Sea protects them from Sand.
And we have a left port shift coming, which will be in the favor of Team Poland. And yeah, I think we have a winner for ourselves on this first match of the evening.
Yeah, it's going to be 1 and 2 for the Polish, 3 and 4 for the Swedes. 1-0 for Poland so far in this encounter of the eSailing Nations Cup round robin stage. Confirmation of the score on your screen.
Nicely done from Poland.
And next race will start very shortly.
Yeah, it is a strong squad because I think I know all of these players from the first years I started playing on Very. So it's like a reflex for them to do these match races. and especially on this boat, it's one of their favorite boats to do the match races. So we'll see.
Yep. And Mireille 50,400. Bonjour à tous. Hello to you too. Zenon 111111. AC Fi and Sea can sail. The sea is not any protection. And Brisk Power showing support to Vari, the Polish captain. 45 seconds before the start procedure is done and they can cross the start line. We're going with the Ilka, still in the N-shaped course, so it's going to be the upwind, downwind, upwind shape of course. So upwind finish. A very, how'd you say, very light boat compared to the Star, very maneuverable boat. It has a smaller wind shadow, no speed, but if you can catch someone in your wind shadow, you're going to slow them down quite efficiently. Just stay close to them.
And the most tricky part is if you try to sail into the wind, if you luff a bit too much, your boat just will stop right away. So you'll have to try avoiding that and try to bear away and gain speed as much as possible, as the first Polish player is doing now.
Yeah, that was a good start from Formansky, but I can't really say the same for everyone else.
We got a small friendly fire there from Simops to Vary, unfortunately.
Yeah, so we have half on the left, half on the right. We'll see what the decisions are. According to the
One,
ranking
yeah,
on the left, it's going to be an advantage for the Polish. In a 3v3, the winning combination is a 1 and 3 or 1 and 2.
yeah. And it's not
Basically,
like Starboat. The wind shadow is much smaller, so you just gotta seal the deal on the first upwind if you can, and then you'll be able to sail away and not be in their wind shadow.
yep.
And let's see if they. I think they're all counting on a right-hand shift coming in. We'll see if that's the case. Yeah, it looks like it for the moment, because one of the mistakes players are doing on the match races, they're being so focused on their competitors, and they're just focused on penalizing the other boats, and they forget to check the minimap and the shifts. But that plays a really important part on the strategies as well.
It does. There is a balance to find between sailing fast, your race, and also putting the penalties on opponents. You don't want to focus too much on one or the other because you're going to miss out
So,
on the second one. So
exactly. Because you're doing all those maneuvers to just gain a few meters and penalize the other boats, but if you're just missing a shift, it might cost like 50 meters on the other boats.
So watch out for the mark rounding and the friendly fire between the two poles. Nicely done between Formansky and Zimus. It's going to be 1 and 2 for the Polish, followed by Seabear and foiled 1 of Sweden. How is Furan going to fare against Vari? He's just going to sail no mark trap whatsoever. The Poles currently in the winning combo, but Seabear might be close enough to catch one of them, if not both, and he is slowing down Zimus very well.
And staying in the gust is really important with this boat as well, because your just boat speeds up directly, and it's not like offshore boat, for example. Even if you're in the gust, maybe it will not change your speed on that much, but with Ulka, it's quite important.
And we've seen Seabear who lets Zimus go, who went close to foiled 1, and now he's going to have to fend off the two Swedes. And a penalty on Zimus by Seabear, well played by the Swedes. They're taking the number 2 and 3 spots. They just want to make sure that Furan gets out of the 6th place because you want less than 10 points, 10 points or less in the 3v3 to win the race.
What do you think? Should Formansi come back for some help, or he'll just let his friends fight?
I think for now he continues, and then he can wait during the reaching or during the upwind. But he can finish the downwind for sure.
Yeah, but it's still a winning combo for Poland now if they don't get any penalties.
Well, it's still very close. Like it's gonna change again. As you said that we have two Polish in the top three again. Uh, so they just need one Polish finishing in number two and number three, and that's gonna be a win for them. But the Swedes obviously are not gonna let that easily happen. Penalty here on Vary in Fold 1 is going to put another penalty on Zimus. Well played by him.
Ah, nicely done. Beautiful racing from Team Sweden.
And we see that Formansky has been waiting on the upwind and ready to dial down if necessary.
Yeah, it's a great combination of great teamwork and personal skills as individual skills and as well. Because yeah, they just did a lot of right things back to back, and now they have a good advantage on Team Poland.
As we see Seabeer almost managing to put a penalty on Vary, but Vary's still being covered by Foiled 1. And on the right of your screen, you're going to see Foran covering Zimus as well. And 2 and 3 and 5 for the Swedes is going to give them the win so far. And obviously, to know that you just add their positions as points. So first gets 1 point, second 2 points, third 3 points. And well, the score for the team is just the addition of all the points from all the players. And in a 3v3, you want 10 points or less. So we'll see if the ranking changes when they tack towards the finish line. We see Boran, who went all the way towards the ley lines, which is the dotted lines you see on your screen. And he has a straight shot to the finish. Eber is going to attack in front of Very above him, trying to slow him down a bit more. Foiled 1 also has a straight shot to the finish line.
Yeah. Yeah. It looks
it's going to be tight, but I think it's going to be a Polish win. A Swedish win.
Swedish, yeah. I think you got it. Let's see. Just it's gonna be a photo finish for fourth and fifth players right here. Yeah.
Yep, it's going to be 1-3-4 for the Swedes. 2-5-6 for the Polish. Nice response by the Swedish players, adding a point to tie up. The race is going to be 1-1 after race number 2.
Yeah. It's not disappointing as we expected. It is quite close and it's getting more and more excited.
Yeah, I think it's going to be like this. It's going to be a ping pong throughout the matches.
Yeah.
But next race will start very shortly again, and we're going to go with a 4v4 in the J70. Still in the unshaped course with the J70, there is going to be a speed, so there's going to be a decision to make at the reaching leg whether to take it out or not. That's going to depend on the wind shifts at that moment. But with the J70, it's a very balanced boat, so we can expect some battles throughout the whole race. And we'll likely do a small poll for the grand final for you players to let us know who you think will win the grand final for the eSailing World Championship. But that's going to be next weekend. This weekend and this week, we're going to be focusing on the eSailing Nations Cup. Third race for Poland versus Sweden. Scheidlöfen, Krzyzek, Formansky, and Andrew won for the Polish squad, and Dirksen, Yoko, Dr. Crew, and Alec Moore for the Swedish squad. And I see a lot of support for Sweden as well, for Sim from Silmarek and from Roman Cert. Go Sweden.
Yeah, we'll see. They're already started just tickling each other, let's say, at the start line.
Yep.
They just both want to have a clean, good start, and they have want to have the control on over the other boats, because just being in a wind shadow and you cannot go anywhere is like the most annoying feeling that you can have in a match race. and none of them wants it.
And it's a go for this race number 3. We have one out boat. Shadowfin is going to have to get behind the start line again and cross it again for this false start. But a pretty even start. The ranking is going to give a slight advantage to the Swedish players, with Yoko and Alakomor leading the fleets, and Dr. Krul now as I was speaking. And we see here a penalty on Alakomor from Fumansky, touching Fumansky's boat as he was trying to maneuver and do his roll tack away.
Yeah, actually, yeah, it's a subject I'm wondering a lot. I'm as a reflex doing the roll text as well, but I want your opinion as the game manager for Virtual Regatta Insure. Do you think it's really working, and are they speeding up as they
For the
are
roll
doing
tack,
it?
I think it really depends on the boat. Some boats, I think it's going to be efficient because you are gaining some speed
Yeah,
to turn around, and for some boats, if you just tack straight, I mean like the more classic and easy way, you're going to slow down by quite a lot.
yeah. So
But on some boats,
let's
then it's
say
not necessary.
J70.
For the J70, I don't know. I know for the Ilka, it's I think it's necessary.
Yeah,
But also kind of do it the same way. Like I got used to doing it, and I do it despite not necessarily needing it.
yeah, yeah. I see. But I think we're just gonna keep doing it because it's a habit for any sailor to do a roll back.
For those watching and not necessarily knowing what a roll tack is it's basically you're gonna go the opposite direction before tacking to gain a bit of speed,
Yeah,
or during the tack for when you're gonna pass head to win, as we see. It wasn't Yoko, it was Formansky D taking a penalty from Dirksen, I think it was.
yeah,
And yeah, so the roll tack allows you to attack while going head to win without slowing down too much.
yeah. Actually,
And
yeah.
we
In
see
real sailing, it is used mostly in the light wind. When you don't have the wind, it's because you're maneuvering, you're losing a lot of speed, and that's why you just want to change the center of the weight of your boat, and then you're also doing this move with your body as well as you're bearing away and tacking. You're just moving your
yeah.
body in that way to have a
Uh,
little bit pump on your sails and then just speed up,
a very
basically.
nice move from the Polish over here. They managed to penalize both Alakomor and Dr. Krul. If the Swedish cling on that 1 and 2 position, they need to stay away from that 7 and 8. So if the Polish decide to give 1 and 2 to Sweden, they're going to have to focus on Alakomor and Dr. Krul and make sure that these two Swedish players finish in 7 and 8 to guarantee the win
Um,
for them. And that is currently what is happening with the ranking on the left.
yeah, and we have two Swedish boats, like Polish boats here, sailing away.
Yep,
I
they're
think.
going for the darker patches on the left
Yeah,
over there. You see them going towards there. This is where there's more wind. Where Alakomor over here is in a pretty light area, going at 8.9 knots with 16 knots of wind. But if we go to Krzyzek over here, he has 21 knots of wind and going at 12.2 knots.
it's a huge difference.
Yep. We also see two boats over there on the other side with Ormansky and Dirksen. There's also this darker patch on the right. And let's see how it all turns out. I think for the 4v4, it's 18 points that you want or less.
Yeah, it's exactly that. You don't want to have the less spots, basically. Oh, got a fight at the back of the fleet, and Dr. Poole penalized
Gonna
Andrew.
focus on this mark rounding as we have 3 Polish boats approaching it with 1 Swedish boat. Is Dirksen gonna manage to put a penalty on one of the Polish boats, or will the 3 Polish boat pass in front, and Dirksen takes the penalty from Scheidlefin. And so we still have Yoko in the lead. Then it's going to be 2-3-4 for the Polish. And Andrew Won from Team Poland is in last position, fighting with Dr. Cool.
Yoko's got to do something, Oscar, because it's not good news here for Poland players. Sorry, Swedish players. He's the only
he's
one.
gonna have to decide. He has 3 Polish boats under him. He's gonna have to make a choice at some point.
Yeah, if I was in his place, I would just go to continue sailing till the ley line because we have a big left-hand shift coming in. So I think the Polish players at the right-hand side of the race course will lose a lot of place. They continue sailing away, but they just stacked. So we'll see how many meters they lost.
But with this configuration, the Swedish have 12 and 7. That's going to be 19 points, so they're going to be losing.
Yeah, that's the case. So
if I'm mathing correctly.
Yeah, Yoko should just control or penalize. Yeah, great move. Great move by Yoko.
And a penalty from Yoko on Formansky. He's going to try to slow him down as much as he can. You see him trying to penalty sits, which is basically just staying on top of the boat, trying to prolong the penalty and add seconds to it. Almost pushing Formansky completely head to win.
Yeah, he's doing a great job there, just slowing him completely down.
But Scheidlefin and Krizik have, in the meantime, took 1 and 2.
Yeah. So yeah, he lost a lot of.
So we're back to square one in some ways. Where if they give 1 and 2, they're gonna have to push Formansky into 8th to have the win. And we're gonna see a sort of dial down here from Dirksen on Formansky. And Formansky takes another penalty. Is that going to be enough for the 3 Swedish boats to pass in front? And looks like they've done exactly that, pushing 2 of the Polish boats in 7 and 8. Now watch out for friendly fire.
Ah!
A penalty on Dirksen from Formansky. It's going to be a very close finish, but I think Formansky managed to escape that 7th position, and what a finish that was.
Oh, man. I think right before that penalty, it was a win for Sweden, but I think it changes.
Yeah, Formansky arriving in 6th instead of 7th, so the win is going to go to Poland, and we're going to get the confirmation of that very soon. But that was a very nice finish, a very competitive finish. Looking like Sweden might have taken the win over there, and then suddenly Dirksen takes a penalty from Formansky, and it reverses. So it's going to be 1-2-6-8 for Poland, and 3-4-5-7 for Sweden, making it 2-1 for Poland. And next race will start very soon again.
I imagine they're quite stressed behind their screens, but they're putting a great show for the spectators on this match because they're really proper team matches and really fun.
Yeah, that was 2 last-minute changes in who we thought was going to win.
Yeah, I was not expecting that, to be honest, especially the last penalty. I'll just rewatch it because I think I missed how he put on that penalty, because he was under wind shadow of 3 Swedish players. Oh, what a move.
And there we go. Race number 4 is a go. 2-1 for Poland. How will Sweden reply? 55 seconds to go. You're going to see the boats starting to get able to position themselves soon. And with the offshore racer, well, it's a very long boat. It has the bowsprit in front, which can play some tricks on the players. Still fairly maneuverable. More or less repeating that every match
Yeah,
where we find the offshore racer, but it is true.
yeah. Maneuvering is actually quite easy and it's agile, like considering how big this boat is when you compare it to the committee boat. But still, it's quite technical. As you said, you have the boom, you have the bow, because you have to pay attention to it while starting, um, and also while crossing in front of the other boats. It's easy to get penalized. And we're,
And it is a go. We see one penalty for foiled one another for Misko Moravsky. No false starts. Let's see how this race is going to turn out. Penalty here on Dirksen from Misko Moravsky.
I think foiled is on a pretty good spot because he's coming as on starboard tack. And when you have offshore boat, as the boat is quite long, you're just reaching the mark right away on the first shift, and that's why being on starboard tack has a great advantage. As you can see, he's controlling all the fleet. He'll just penalize any boat coming on his way.
Yep, that's exactly what's happening for Mansky, having to tack away and under two of the Polish. It's going to be two Swedish boats rounding the mark. First, we see a couple of penalties here on the Polish boats for Mansky and Korba. And in a 5v5, I forgot the winning combination, but the 1 and 2 is pretty powerful, even though it's not a guaranteed win.
Yeah, I think 1 and 2 is always powerful.
Yep.
Just gotta try to get that.
And we see who was that? That was winner 20 with 31 touching the mark and missing the mark rounding, having to go back and rounding it again. Jesko Moravsky taking a penalty here from Dirksen. I think he's the one who jived onto him. Well, it's going to be some pretty slow sailing here until we're in this downwind.
Yeah.
Not much changes, not much attacks. We do see Korba fending off winner 20 over here at the back.
Yeah, that is the thing with these boats. They have a very large wind shadows, but it's not efficient as it's efficient with laser or J70 or starboats. So yeah, it just you just have to seal the deal on the upwind legs if possible.
And as we were saying that Dirksen was taking the penalty from Mieszko, and Yoko takes a penalty here from Tim Janik, giving a 3-4-5 for the Polish, as Mieszko Morawski takes a penalty by touching Dirksen during the mark rounding, and Yoko is going to take another penalty here from Tim Janik. And we see a mark trap over here from Very on Dirksen, pushing him away, not putting the penalty, but slowing him down enough. Another one here from Korba. And there is going to be a penalty applied on Korba for touching the boat as
Yeah,
he was trying to maneuver.
it was a
And well,
critical one.
foiled one and Sweet Sailor are still going fast at the top. going for the finish line. And as I say, that Sweet Sailor is going to have a dial down on
Yeah,
Formansky, going to try to slow him
he's
down.
dialing down, but he doesn't have any teammate who can catch up. So I think he'll just he just sees that maneuver like as a reflex, and he'll just finish him right
Yep.
now.
Foiled one crossing the finish line. Sweet Sailor is going to be next. Formansky is going to do a little circle. So they're going to have to math to calculate what position they need to take the win. That's where he takes the penalty. Formansky crossing the line in third. It's going to be Dirksen also crossing the finish line with his two Swedish teammates, Veritim Janek Korba, closing the march. I think this is going to be a win for Sweden.
Yeah, I think so too. Nicely done. We got
Making it
ourselves
2-all.
a tie here.
Yep. Two all, meaning we're going to have a 3-2, and hopefully we can get a 3-3. After that, keeping the excitement until the end. And race number 5 is going to start at 14 past. So very soon, just 1 minute, 30 seconds, more or less.
Yeah, exactly. This is probably the closest one to the fleet racing as strategies, I would say, because everything's happening too fast, and like if you're trying to penalize and focus on one boat, you can just lose 5 places instantly. So that's why, as you mentioned, you just gotta focus on sailing fast, clean, and on the good shift.
And well, the start procedure has been given for race number 5, 9v9 49er. Currently 2-all for Poland versus Sweden. Who do you think is going to take this round?
It's a difficult question because you never know what's gonna happen, but I feel like it's gonna be a win for Team Poland, this one. But Sweden players are really good on this boat as well, so they're just, if it's a victory for Poland, they're just not gonna give it easily. And one thing I'm certain of, we're going to see a tight battle again.
Yep. Well, it's going to be tight battle after tight battle with these two teams. We still have this race and after 2 more races after that to go. The 5-2 predictions from a lot of people in the chat is still possible.
Yeah,
They just need to win every single race starting from now. 5 seconds to go. Boats getting close to the start line. A great start here by Sea Bear. And
yeah. He already has
I'm having trouble with my camera, so I'm going to back out and join again. Here we go. So,
yeah.
well, it's going to be tough for us to keep track of all the changes that are happening. We're going to have to eyeball it by looking at the number of white boats versus red boats in the top half and in the bottom half. Try to figure out who's
Eyeballing
gonna.
mostly works, but maybe not for this one because it's a really good mixture and it's quite homogeneous. This fleet. So, but I think I see more Polish players in the top 10.
Yeah.
That's one.
Obviously, we said it was fleet racing, but you are racing with teammates. So if you can avoid wind shadowing them, avoid wind shadowing them. as well, because you want to also give as much space and clean air to your teammates as well. So far, Jakub Podgorny is supposedly first according to the ranking on the left. He's going to try to attack just over Furan, but Furan is going to attack away, and Dirksen is going to attack over him. And let's maybe focus on this big bunch of boats on the right.
A big group of Polish players with Seabear between them. So it's gonna be an interesting round marking to see.
Yeah, and Andrew 1 is the first one to round the mark. It is rounding the mark on port this time. Do not forget this. And we're seeing four penalties so far on Dirksen, Jakub, Furan, and Winner 20. So a bit more penalties for the Swedish than the Polish. That might give a slight advantage to the Polish for a small moment there. And we do see, a 1 and 2 position is for the Polish boats. And if we're counting the number of Polish boats in the top 9, we are going to see 6 of them.
Yeah. Yeah, they started coloring the top 10 into red.
But they also have 17 and 18, which is a very costful position, costful combo to have. I think it was around 85 points for 9v9.
Yeah, I think you're right. And but even the 17 and 18 position players aren't that far behind, and they can just catch up anytime. It's like a 10 meters of difference to catch up on CGR. So
yeah, and we see Seabear here taking a penalty from one of the Polish boats, meaning that the Polish now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which is very good.
yeah, it is very good indeed. I think we rarely see this on 9v9. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't recall seeing.
Yeah, it's a lot more chaotic than 9v9. We did see it with I think it was France versus Japan, or was it France versus Switzerland yesterday? It was one of the 2 matches.
Yeah, well, like if you have OCB, it's gotta be comforting for you to see these red and white players lined up here on the list, but otherwise, yeah, it's not good news for Sweden.
Yeah, well, the Polish still have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 6. Well, now 5 with Attila Kilan just taking that 5th position from Seabear. They also still have 18th position. Let's look what's happening between CCO and Korba. And we're also seeing 5 Polish boats between 12 and 18.
I think Antila just lost the control of her boat, if I'm not wrong.
Okay.
Let's see how will that affect.
Yeah, and we have, basically we have the Polish getting the 2 extremes of the fleet, 1, 2, 3, 4, but also 16, 17, 18.
Yeah. So
and make it hard for us to predict who wins.
Yeah, exactly. I've been just trying to figure it out, but that's not really helpful.
But the top 3 Polish in a pretty comfortable position here to take it. And Attila Kila looks like she has control of her boat again.
We have almost 30 knots of speed of wind speed on this downwind, so which means these 49ers are going to fly, and it's not going to be easy to put your wind shadow on them. So.
Yep. Well, basically 1, 2, 3, 4, I think, is more or less given to the Polish. But they do have a number 8, Izek, that is surrounded by Swede boats that maybe the Swedish can focus on and penalize to allow more Swedish boats to pass in front.
Yeah, but it
But
seems
we'll
like
see how the Swedish reacts.
he's not bothered at the moment. Yeah, we have Sibir coming in. Up, great
Forward
maneuver.
one, yeah, forward one tried to do a dial down on him,
Second boat
missing
coming.
it. Now watch out not to lose your positions to Krzyzek. If you're gonna attack him, you want to penalize him. You want to slow him
And
down as he takes the
nicely.
penalty here. He
He's
puts the
doing a
penalty
great
on a
job.
forward one, and he did a great job trying to escape.
Oh
All the
man,
Swedish boats
nice
focusing
one.
a bit too much on him, maybe.
I'm just clapping him. As we speak, yeah. Wow,
But well
well
played by
played.
him. And Attila
Well,
and Kila over here closing the march. And it's going to be, well, we're going to see what the score tells us, but I think it's going to be a round for Poland. There we have the score confirmation. I'm going to say Sweden because I want to see a 3-3. And so while this minutes in the start procedure finishes, in the standings as we speak is France going to be first place with 20 points, having raced all their games. Japan in second with 16 points, still missing one race to play. Italy with 12 points, still missing two races. Poland in fourth, this being their final race of the round robin. Germany in fifth, tied with Switzerland. Germany having played 4 races and Switzerland having played 5. So Germany still has 2 to go and Switzerland 1. And then Sweden, who we are currently watching with 6 points, 3 played, 1 wins, 2 losses. They still have 3 races, including this one to go. And we have Mallorca predicting a Polish win, Silmarek predicting a Sweden win, and Isaac 0103 saying that Sweden will win.
okay.
3 seconds to go.
And not all the boats are on the start line.
And we have a better start from the Swedish than the Polish, I'm going to say.
Yeah, much better. We have 2 boats in the clean, sailing at their maximum speed, having under control all of the other boats. Polish boats, they're all on the same tack. They have no risks, no other boats going to the other ley lines or corners. Yeah, well, we are saying that.
I think she heard you. Attila is going to tack over to reach
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
that port ley line as the wind shifts. But the same
Actually,
could be said with
time.
the same could be said with the Swedish, who all follow each other. SGR 88 might be in Dr. Cruel's wind shadow, going 0.1 knots slower.
Yeah, I think they were just going following each other because they saw a big shift coming up from there, but now the things have changed. Now we have a big shift coming in favor of Antilla from the left-hand side, and I think she'll just put herself in a good spot in the fleet, and she's getting closer to the leaders of this fleet.
Yep. Stella Komori is going to tack just over that ley line.
Yeah,
We're back on the N shape, so N shape meaning that these windward marks are going to be left on starboard. Watch out to not round them the incorrect way.
I think players are getting used to it now because we don't see quite often as before.
But I know it's happened to me several times where, well, we were spectating and commentating the matches and we switched to 9v9 and suddenly I'm wondering why are they running it on doing it on port and not starboard. Like
And
in the Nations Cup, I'm getting used to see the N shape, but not the others. As SGR88 takes the penalty from the Polish boats and Janik or Vari. It's going to be 1-2 for the Swedish in a 3v3. We said it before, 1 and 2 or 1 and 3 is a winning combo. because you're guaranteed to have 10 points or less.
Yeah.
Even with a 6th place.
And if you guys noticed on the reaching leg, they just launched their spinnakers right after rounding the mark because they were able to, thanks to the wind indicators, the angle enabled them to do this and gain more speed.
Yep, and there's that choice to make. And no Torsk now says, no, Romo, this is what we're talking about. No Torsk now. Not sure what a Torsk is. I'm sure you'll explain that to me.
Yeah,
As
please
we see,
enlighten
Antila and
us.
Kila completely, slowing down Dr. Cool by quite a lot, and that's going to allow Tim Janik on the right over here to sneak in, maybe take a podium place. They need to get one of the Swedish out of that top 3.
Yeah, she's sailing away from the wind, but yeah, she's doing a good job just keeping the control over Dr. Kroll because it is their only chance. If you remember if you get the first 2 spots on 3v2, you are victorious. So they will not let this happen easily.
Yep. And a Torsk is means to mess up.
Torsk, not Torsk now. Okay, so Swedish word of the night.
We're gonna have to start learning some
Yeah.
some Swedish words. But is that
So
Swedish? Silmarek Torsk equals lose. Yes. Thank you for the explanations, everyone. Well, Ala Komor still in first place. He's not going to go straight towards the mark. He's kind of waiting and seeing what's happening at the back. And Sila and Kila is still busy with Dr. Cool, but did manage to take him out of that podium place.
Not yet. She slowed him down really well, but I think it's still quite mixed up at the moment, and the pairs are changing. Duels are different now, and you're getting close to the run marking.
And Torque is also apparently the name of a fish. The cod. The more you know. And Chris Santino7, I have to agree, Antila Akila is one of the strongest female sailors, and well, she kind of proved it this year by qualifying for the grand final via steering the course.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to watch her on the big stage.
Yep. And well, it looked like the Polish could have managed to put Dr. Krul out of the top 3, but he is back in there as they're going to start the upwind and
Nice
a dial
move.
down from Very onto Dr. Krul, penalizing him. Watch out for friendly fire. They're going to have to round the mark now and not take too long to do that to gain advantage of that penalty they've just put on Dr. Krul, who is maintaining his 2nd position according to the ranking on the left.
Yeah, great maneuver by Very. He just jibed while no one's expecting.
And well, we're going to see 2 of these players in the grand final, actually. SGR88 and Ansila Kiva are both going to be present in the grand final.
I didn't know we had SGR88 as well. Okay.
I think she's the wild card from for the 12th spot.
Go Queen. So what other nationalities we have in the final stage?
Well, we have French, we have Japanese, we have Italian, we have Brazilian, we have Portuguese.
Great.
Who am I missing? Yeah, it's going to be very international. 2 Japanese, 2 French, 2 Portuguese. We have the brothers. And I just blanked on their name.
Will come up. No worries. So we're getting close to the finish line. Let's last 100 meters almost, and it looks like we have a victory for Sweden at the moment.
Well, 1 and 2 is winning combo. If they can keep that, that's gonna be good for them. And Alakomor is getting very close. So is Dr. Cool.
But for Alcomor, it's not certain that he. I think Taimanek is quite close as well. But no, okay.
No, I think he's gonna get it. I think it's gonna be pretty safe. A pretty safe 1 and 2 for the Swedish. And it's going to be just as we love it. It's going to be a tie,
Yeah.
3v3, 3 all, and the tiebreaker is going to be decided with the 4v4 F50. But there we have the score confirmation: 1-2-6 for the Swedes, 3-4-5 for the Polish. And next race, 4v4 F50, starting at 22.
And we have Sweet Sailor already coming in as a spectator. Hello
Close,
there.
close. JL777, good luck, all winners. Isaac, 0103, final race decider, Romel. Dr. Cool came second in Swedish National this year. Forerunner came third, so it's going to be a very competitive Swedish side. And yeah, with this course and the F50, well, it's going to be reaching start, starboard reaching. So the boats are going to start far to reach maximum velocity as they hit the start line. Obviously, do not do any false starts because that's just going to penalize you way too much in the F50. And you have these white boundaries that you cannot sail past, otherwise you're going to be slowed down again. And it's going to be fairly narrow, so there's going to be a few tacks. And the upwind and the downwind is going to be so reaching, downwind, upwind, downwind, reaching,
Yeah,
finish again.
yeah. A lot of F50s placing themselves differently. They have pin end. We have pin end boats and committee boats. Committee side, sorry. Let's see which one will pay off.
And 3 seconds to go. So far, it's going to be 2 Swedish at the front. Dr. Cool and Seabear. Nice start from them. Krizek with a penalty. It's not a false start. It is one of the Swedish boats, Elekomor, putting the penalty on him. And a very good start by the Swedish.
It's brilliant. Yeah, it's a brilliant job.
Two boats rounding the mark first, followed by Misko Moravsky, and then himself, followed by 2 other Swedes. Misko Moravsky in a good position. He's going to be the one who has to try to slow down the Swedes, put the penalties, and risk something.
Yeah, but slowing down other boats is not really an easy task to do, especially
Yes,
on F50.
absolutely. The F50, as you said, is a very fast boat, so any mistake is going to be very costly, and it was indeed an amazing start, Isaac, from the Swedish. And we see a dial down from Misko Moravsky on Alakomor, but that backfired. And we have the Swedish currently in 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, amazing start from Sweden, Isaac saying. Indeed, it was a really good start. They had the control. They had 3 boats in the lead, and now it looks like they are all in the lead and control.
But this can still change, and ice in the belly. We remember that expression, Romel. Jakub Podgorny taking a penalty over here by sailing out of bounds. So watch out for these boundaries. Do not sail too far into them. You're going to want to avoid taking these kind of penalties because that is
I think
that's
it's
just
just taking the
unfortunate
risk.
and unnecessary risks.
Yeah. I think, yeah, in their situation, they need to take risks, I think, Oscar. And that's what Jacob was trying to do.
Probably Dr. Cool onto his downwind leg, and Alakomor, Seabear are going to follow him. Same as Furon.
Yeah,
And
actually,
it's looking tough for the Polish.
it is looking tough, and they didn't play their best bet. Actually, at the moment, Furan can just stay behind and stall the Polish team now. And if they have the top 3 just sailing away, I think the victory is theirs. But they're not. They haven't choose to do it. They haven't chosen doing it so far. I think they have a comfortable lead, and they just know their strategy well, and they'll just.
Yeah, they're likely just going to try to
Wait.
continue sailing and not risk anything.
Yeah, exactly.
They don't need to do any sort of dial down, any sort of mark trap or anything. It's just gonna.
Exactly.
I think that's gonna
Exactly.
be an unnecessary risk that can put them in a difficult position. Obviously,
100%.
1-2-3 is a guaranteed win, so they
Because yeah,
could
you have
decide to drop the fourth, but yeah.
because we have the boundaries as well. That's why they cannot go too far. Like they're at least in the to some context, they're at least like in control.
Yep.
I think that's what also
And
comforting.
well, we see the
Sweden.
support in the chat from the Swedish player. Swede Sailor looks good, boys. And Romel, it's the yellow that paint. That paint is fast.
Yeah, we have the big left shift coming in though, with a lot of gust. Let's see if it's gonna put some of the Polish players in front.
And all of that comes down to the start. The Swedish had a very good start, putting a penalty in one of the boats, having two of their boats rounding their mark first, and then it was just an unfortunate backfiring dial down from one of the Polish players that killed their chances. Though they are very close now, and Alakomor is going to have to tack. Krysiek is passing in front of Alakomor, so is Jakub. So suddenly we have 3 and 4 for the Polish. We're going to slow down Alakomor.
It's a bit of excitement for this last run, but I think we still got the
As
victory.
Dr. Krul is on his last reaching leg, he's going to go towards the finish line.
Wait a second, Jakub's coming fast.
Jakub is coming very fast. He's going to
Ah,
miss Furan.
it was really close.
That was really close. Yep, and
I'm sure. I'm sure Furan's heart stopped beating for a while there.
but it is going to be 1-2-3 for the Swedes. 4-5-6 for the Polish, 7 for Sweden, and 8 for Poland, meaning that the Sweden are going to take the win in this encounter. Confirmation of the score on your screen right now. And we'll have a look shortly in how that affects the overall standings. But it is a win for Sweden against a Poland 4-2-3, sorry.
So your prediction was right, Oscar. Well
Yes,
done.
well, it was an easy prediction. I said 4-3, but I didn't know for who.
Yeah, still.
Okay, let me show you the score. And there we go, 3-4 for Sweden. That was a great match to watch. They were ping-ponging the whole night, one team taking the win and the other answering straight back with a win themselves. Well done to both teams. So that was Poland's last race, and Sweden still has 2 more races to go after this one. And the next match isn't Poland versus Sweden, but the next match is going to be Germany versus Italy. We're going to show you that in just a second. There we go. So France still in first place with 20 points, having raced all their games. Japan in second place with 16 points, still missing 1 game. Poland in third with 14 points, having raced all the races. Italy in fourth with 12 points, still missing 2 games. Sweden in fifth position with 9 points, still missing 2 games. Germany with 7 points in sixth position, still missing 2 games. And Switzerland in seventh position with 7 points as well, still missing 1 game. So these are the current standings. We'll see how this is going to change in the next few days. As we said, the next race is going to be Germany versus Italy tomorrow at 8:30 p.m. UTC. Tomorrow is November 15th. which is going to be an interesting match as well to see. Italy's last match, and well, still not the last match for Germany, but this is going to be the last chance for Italy to shoot up in the overall standings. Congratulations to Sweden, and nicely fought for Poland. 4-3 for Sweden is the outcome of this match, Sweden versus Poland. And I think we're going to wrap it up. So this was Oscar, your host. With me was the Guler Omer. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you all tomorrow for Germany versus Italy. Thank you for joining.